Weldon Road is not one of Wigan's happiest grounds. They haven't won here for 3 years, and last season the title race was blown wide open by Castleford's win. Will history repeat itself? Wigan are beginning to feel the strain. A hero for Great Britain yesterday, Martin Offiah is absent for Wigan as the strain of supplying players to the national side takes its toll. Andy Platt, though, adds his considerable weight to the Wigan pack. Platt's overcome the shoulder injury which threatened his career. This could be the day Wigan are undone. We thought that at Halifax a week ago, but with no fewer than 10 first-teamers out injured, including Offiah and try-scorer Shaun Edwards, this could be Castleford's day. Edwards is another victim of Great Britain's excellent win against New Zealand yesterday. Tawera Nikau has a point to prove. The Castleford Kiwi was omitted from the test side after Wembley. Last week at Salford, Cass ran riot, and it was another of their impressive New Zealanders, Tony Kemp, who helped them to an important win. Castleford have beaten Wigan 3 out of the last 4 here. They have an impressive record against Wigan that many will envy. It could be improved today. Well, Castleford have never won the First Division Championship. It was the one honour that their former coach Darrell van der Velde craved for. A win for Graham Steadman and the Castleford team today, and they really will be in the thick of the championship race. Confirmation Steadman's the full-back. A try from him in this fixture last season. St John Ellis needs 1 touchdown for a career total of 100, and he's run in successive hat-tricks. Richie Blackmore was omitted by New Zealand for the test yesterday, despite scoring 5 tries in the last 4 games. Grant Anderson is a former under-21 international, groomed in the Colts team here, and he signed in 1987. Simon Middleton has been an ever-present so far. He scored 19 tries last season. That was his best return. Tony Kemp was on duty for the Kiwis yesterday. He came through okay. He backs up 24 hours later. Mike Ford is a former Wigan scrum half, and he was a Wembley winner with them in 1985. Lee Crooks is the Castleford skipper. At 21, he was the captain of Hull against Wigan and Mike Ford in that classic final of 85. A former Wigan three-quarter, now the Castleford hooker, is Richard Russell, signed from Oldham in the summer. Martin Kettridge completes the front row. He appeared at prop in 5 of the last 6 games. Tony Morrison is the former Swinton and Oldham forward who forms a formidable second row. And Morrison, he has formed a great partnership with Ian Smales, who joined Cass in a big money deal from Neighbours Featherstone last August. And the lineup's completed by the Kiwi Tawera Nikau, dropped after the Wembley test by his country, but he's not missed a match for Castleford yet. The coach, and this is his first season at Weldon Road, one of Britain's most promising young coaches, is John Joyner. Frano Botica is watching this match from the stands today. Botica, one of no fewer than 10 first-teamers who are out of action. So a big gamble coming up by Wigan to take this game on 24 hours after 5 of their players took part in the test match. It might backfire. 18-year-old Andrew Craig gets his chance at full-back. It's his debut, and he deserves a go, according to his coach, John Dorahy. Frano Botica then has tonsillitis, so Danny Ellison, who deputised for Offiah earlier in the season, comes in for him. Joe Lydon is in the centre for captain Dean Bell. Lydon has had a glittering career, 30 test caps and 5 championship medals at Wigan. Gary Connolly comes back after the test. He's made a great start to his Wigan career, 3 tries in 5 games. And Paul Stevens is the man on the other wing. Stevens in 5. A non-playing sub against the Kiwi. This will be his debut too. Nigel Wright missed 4 injured until last Sunday when he returned at full-back at Halifax. He plays in his more accustomed stand-off role today. Shaun Edwards is injured after the test, so Craig Murdoch takes over. He was captain of the academy team against the Kiwis last week. But up front, Wigan do have the more formidable names. Kelvin Skerritt is now fit again. He returned at Halifax after a 3-match absence. Martin Hall is an able deputy for the injured Great Britain international Martin Dermott. Hall is a former England schoolboys international. Andy Platt, the shoulder healed. He makes only his 2nd appearance of the season. He's the current man of steel and Wigan's captain today. Neil Cowie's in the second row. He scored a try here last season as Wigan were beaten. And Sam Panapa, well, he can play anywhere. In the last 4 games, he's had to play wing, second row and centre, and he's in the second row today. Phil Clark misses the test match, so Mick Cassidy comes in. He made his full under-21 debut on Tuesday at prop for Great Britain. And the man who really has rolled the dice and elected to play here, will his gamble backfire on him? The Wigan coach, John Dorahy. So an unfamiliar looking Wigan side, but plenty of people have come out to Weldon Road to watch this one. It's Castleford against Wigan. Wigan haven't won here 3 out of the last 4 years. Will Castleford get amongst the title hopefuls today?
You're watching Sky.
Lee Crooks leads out Castleford. A match that is quite significant for them. They're up there near the top of the table. If they beat Wigan today, well, they really will be in the thick of the championship hunt. Let's just check out the Castleford side for you. Steadman, Ellis, Blackmore, Anderson, Middleton, Kemp and Ford. That's the way the backs look. Up front, it's Crooks, Russell, Kettridge, Morrison, Smales and Nickow. And the 2 subs, Tony Smith and Andy Hay. And Andy Platt, we're getting our first look at Platt on the big league this season, but it is an unfamiliar looking Wigan side that Platt, the captain for the day, leads out. The list of injured stars is almost endless. There are 10 of them who could well have been playing today. But this is the side that John Dorahy has had to turn out. Craig, Ellison, Lydon, Connolly, Stevens, Wright and Murdoch. And up front it's Skerrett, Hall. Platt is the captain, Cowie, Panapa and Cassidy. And the subs, Christian Radlinski, who is only 17, and Ian Gildart. And we've worked it out that the average age of this Wigan side now is 23. But 30-year-old Andy Platt is the captain. It's only his 2nd game back after the shoulder operation, the current man of steel. He's only the 6th British forward to win 25 caps for his country, and his experience today will be invaluable to the Wigan cause. Tawera Nickow, the Kiwi loose forward, who was dropped after the Wembley defeat. And I'm sure that he will be looking for a big game today to impress the New Zealand coach Howie Tamati that perhaps it was a mistake to leave him out of the 2nd test yesterday. A test, of course, which New Zealand were absolutely hammered in by a rampant Great Britain team. But it's a big job for Craig Murdoch, filling in for the injured Sean Edwards. Edwards so important to this Wigan team, so important to Great Britain too. Had a fine game in the 2nd test at Edwards. And Murdoch, the academy captain against the Kiwis last week, he gets his chance. Match referee is Robin Whitfield from Widnes, one of the most experienced officials in the game. Important match for these 2 sides. It's Castleford against Wigan. Joe Lydon of Wigan about to get the ball underway, but it just falls off the sand, so we'll have a slight delay. But Steve-O, we were talking just before the teams came out, it could go either of 2 ways this. Castleford could be so relaxed against this unfamiliar looking Wigan side, and the youngsters could really be buoyant for Wigan.
Well, there's plenty of talent in these youngsters that Wigan have put out today, but obviously you would have to say that Castleford would start favourites. But they could go the boil, they could really hit the high spots.
It's Castleford who have the ball in this first set of 6. Tony Kemp playing in the test match yesterday to Lee Crooks. And already a little bit of argy-bargy. Ball back to Steadman. Shaped to kick, but Platt closed him down, and Hall is there, and that's great chasing by Wigan. Lydon with the tackle.
Put him under a lot of pressure there. Steadman tried to run it, and it was Lydon that wrapped him up eventually.
And the ball off the boot of Martin Kettridge just finds touch on the bounce.
Nice kick from the prop forward there. Plenty of height. A little bit of a mix-up in the kicking department. Castleford eager to get on with it.
This now is Paul Stevens, the young winger who let that kick downfield from Kettridge just bounce in to touch. Thought, I think, the ball was drifting out. This is Mick Cassidy in for the injured Phil Clark. Picked up a leg injury in that test yesterday. Now Cowie brushes the challenge from Tony Morrison off. Platt is running to pick up the pass from Hall, but it goes to ground. Nickow swoops. Here's Kemp. Inside Skerritt. Almost away from right and gets the ball to Russell.
Beautiful dummy there from Tony Kemp, the New Zealander. Interfering at the play of the ball. There you can see Robin Whitfield.
Lydon simply wouldn't let Russell get back to his feet.
Quite clearly on the replay. Look at that, making no attempt. He has to roll away and allow the man to play the ball. Richard Russell, the hooker, no chance of doing that. There's an obvious ploy by Lydon there, the experience coming out there, trying to get his players back into the defensive pattern.
The run was from Ian Smales, the second rower. Nickow to Mike Ford. Ford to the prop forward Kettridge. Russell on the dart. Morrison couldn't get through Hall or Skerritt. It's the last tackle for Castleford. They're 10 metres out. Nickow's called for the hoisting of the kick, and there it is from Steadman. Bounces back Castleford's way. Kemp can't pick it up. Play on, says the referee. Connolly has it for Wigan. It would have been a knock-on otherwise.
Just couldn't bend down there, couldn't Tony Kemp. But a nice kick. It surprised me, though, with Andrew Craig, the Wigan fullback, only 18 years of age. That's a knock-on. Not the best attempt from Kemp. But that really did surprise me that Castleford didn't put the youngster under a lot of pressure.
Martin Hall, the dummy half. Now here's Platt. Andy Platt, of course, coming back after that shoulder injury, and he's lost the ball. Castleford back in possession with Kemp. Blackmore was the diagonal runner. Steps through the challenge of Nigel Wright. Loses the ball, though. And Wigan pick up eventually with Gary Connolly. Connolly gets it away, but Blackmore was all round right. Wraps him up.
Well, did Cassidy knock that ball away from him? It looked it to me.
Here's Panipa. Dummy half is Martin Hall. Makes 10 metres ground.
Good play there by Wigan. Quick play of the ball. The hooker took advantage. Castleford were on their way back.
Murdoch to Cassidy. Wigan gradually making their way upfield, 10 metres at a time at each one of these tackles. Nigel Wright makes a bit more ground that time, was looking round for someone to come up in support, but Murdoch was steaming up the right-hand channel and Wright was looking left. So Lydon will hoist the midfield bomb and gets it back under pressure from Crooks. Cowie drops it, and the ball eventually comes back into the arms of Kettridge. Now Middleton. Five minutes coming up on the clock, and we still await the first points. Obviously, Steve-O, Wigan will take time to settle down with all these youngsters in the team.
That there is no doubt. But if they can keep it at this scoreline, the confidence will build.
Kemp, though, will attack the right-hand side. Kemp tries to hand off Connolly. Blackmore gets the ball away, and it's 6 to go. It hit a Wigan hand, and so Steadman can race away, but Andy Platt pulls him back by the collar. Ellis. Russell to Crooks. Hall takes him nicely low down.
Castleford finding quite a few gaps out wide, and that is interference at the play of the ball again. The hooker Martin Hall. This should be a gift, 2 points for the experienced Crooks. Then on the replay.
And the referee, as we watch Martin Hall, who protested his innocence to referee Robin Whitfield, just has a little word with the Wigan captain, Andy Platt. I think he's telling him, Steve-O, that he's given the youngsters a couple of chances, but he's going to start clamping down now.
Yes, it's a warning. The yellow card will come out next. That's what that man will be saying to his players, don't be silly. You could see late in the tackle that Lee Crooks, experienced campaigner, was actually holding the ankle of the hooker Martin Hall, but there was never any doubt about it that Hall was all over him.
So Lee Crooks, the kicker for Castleford, 29 is his tally so far. A try and a couple of goals against Wigan here last April. 112 goals last season. A kicker, Lee Crooks, of some quality. With the Kiwis in this country, my mind always goes back to that third test at Ellen Road in 1985 when Crooks was called on as a substitute to kick one off the touchline for Great Britain to rescue the series. Square it up in 85, and that's exactly what he did. Remarkable, really, when you think that he is still only 30 years old. He seems to have been round for an eternity. So Crooks then from bang in front of the posts, but what is it, about 30 metres out? And Lee Crooks is a slow and deliberate kicker. But that's the reason why Crooks comes up with the 2 points. Castleford have the lead.
And this is the reason why those 2 points were given. Just right at the end there, you can see Crooks, the crafty campaigner, not allowing Hall to get away from it, just to make sure, but the referee had already blown the whistle.
(2-0) then, Crooks' penalty. Lydon gets us started again. The ball into the arms of Steadman. James Steadman, the Castleford fullback, obviously one of the contenders for the fullback role before the Test series against New Zealand, filled by Jonathan Davis for Great Britain. And Steadman too maybe will be out to prove a point here today. And Mike Ford is another candidate for Great Britain. He's suffering though because of the great form of Sean Edwards this season. Edwards though not here today.
It's an amazing thing, really. We really do have some classy fullbacks and halfbacks. It's a shame that there are so many.
Lydon gets the ball away to Platt. Good to see Platt back in the big league again. And that shoulder of his fully repaired. Major reconstruction during the summer. A summer that saw Wigan sign Nigel Wright from Wakefield Trinity.
Well, this is a game that Nigel Wright really has to stamp his authority. Really classy player, but he really hasn't shown that yet, mainly due to the fact that he has been injured this season.
And that, I think, has hit a Castleford foot on the way, but no, the referee says it's a tap from the Castleford 20-metre mark. Maybe it just was drilled into the ground so powerfully.
Well, the Castleford player made no attempt to go for it, so therefore it negates that.
Russell, the dummy half, to Ford, to Crooks. Ten minutes of this match gone. That's the way it looks in the recent past between these two. Wigan just ahead, but they do not enjoy coming here to Weldon Road. They haven't won since 1990. Steadman working a neat 1-2 with Morrison. Wigan alert to the danger though. Last tackle. Ford just drops the kick over the top of Ellison on that wing. Bounces once and finds touch.
Once again we see Ford take the option to go for the touch rather than put the high bomb in and maybe test the youngster Andrew Craig. As yet Castleford have not used that ploy.
And here's Danny Ellison. Ellison, who filled in for Martin Afire early on in the season when he was out injured. Today filling in for Jason Robinson on the wing. Robinson with the dislocated elbow. They certainly have got their injury problems, and there's a penalty for Wigan. Nick Howe was interfering with Mick Cassidy as he tried to regain his feet.
Well, the message is out now, isn't it? Robin Whitfield, the referee, given penalties to either side. It must sink in eventually. Let's hope it has done now and we can get on with the game.
Skerritt with the drive. Ian Smales was there to meet him. Penalty count 2-1 in Castleford's favour. Cowie bounces off the shoulder. He has run strong all season, Cowie, and he claimed there that the ball was stolen from him, and Whitfield agrees.
You'll see that it's Nicow, the loose forward, just dragging that ball underneath the left arm, trying to get it out of the way, and said that he never touched it. Thought he'd got away with it, but not according to the referee, the man that counts. Well, it's a stop-start affair so far.
As soon as Cowie hit the deck then, Steve-O, he was protesting to the referee, wasn't he, that it wasn't a knock-on, and Robin Whitfield agreed with him. And the kicker of this penalty is going to be the fullback Andrew Craig. On his debut, the 18-year-old. Paul Aitchison also out injured, of course, so Craig gets his chance and he deserves to be in, says John Dorahy. And he's doing the kicking today. Hits the post, it bounces back into play, and fortunately for Castleford, Grant Anderson was there. Good tackling, Panapa, but the youngster would have liked that one to go over, I fancy. But this is good pressure from Wigan, near the Castleford line. That's 3 tackles gone. Risky business. Stedman from behind his own posts clipped the ball downfield. And Craig was able to allow that ball to bounce and regather it. Remember, the players charging up on that kick from Stedman have got to stand back 5 metres and allow the fullback or the player who receives the ball a little bit of leeway. Wigan then on the charge. It's a lovely run from Murdoch. The ball came back inside and was picked up by the Castleford man. I wonder whether that was a crafty bit of play from Cass. No worries, this is Blackmore. That was forward to Ellis. Ellis is taking them on for speed, and Murdoch, he just got a foot in touch, but that's a sweeping attack from Castleford.
Oh, beautiful tackle there by Craig Murdoch. He really is an elusive customer, St. John Ellis. But what a great cover tackle. It was that fellow there that scampered down the right-hand side into the corner, trying to get the ball back inside. Was intercepted by Castleford. The ball came out wide to St. John Ellis. And didn't he turn on the gas? But what a great cover tackle. Blackmore made the initial break. Beautiful pass out wide. Beaches opposite there. There was no chance Stevens could get to him, but there was no chance he was going to get past this fellow. There you see, quite clearly, on the line is out, and that's enough.
Referee and touch judge just conversing. Calls time back on Robin Whitfield. And he wants the scrum to form in the proper place.
Well, you can see there that Castleford were trying to spin the scrum round to the left. They don't have the head in the ball, and that stupid play, pulling off the headgear there. Childish stuff, should be penalised.
Just over a quarter of an hour gone, and it's still 2-0 to Castleford. Martin Hall with that run downfield. Murdoch at dummy half and finds Connolly.
Well, that lovely run from the halfback Craig Murdoch, and then eventually that beautiful cover tackle, that really would have lifted his confidence. He is a talented player. I've seen him play in the academy several times. He's not frightened to take on the defence.
Was that a knock-on?
No, he went backwards.
Referee Whitfield gives Stedman the benefit of the doubt. Good tackling again from Murdoch, but Stedman got away from him and found Kemp.
Going backwards. The knock-on, it has to go forward toward the opposing goal line. It didn't. Good refereeing by Whitfield to allow play on.
Russell finds Crooks. He just manages to hold on. Russell to Mike Ford. Oh, Mike Ford, little dummy. The ball, though, bounced free then.
That was a belter of a tackle from Martin Hall. The impact knocked the ball there. He was just about to pass the ball there. Mike Ford tried to get it away, but the impact from Hall was tremendous. Crunching stuff.
So again, the scrum forms. Nigel Wright. Now Danny Ellison. Big ask of these Wigan youngsters, but so far they're standing up to the test well. That was Craig who was tackled. This is Connolly from the acting half-back position. Hall to Panapa. Panapa dabs it forward. It's inventive play, but well read by Middleton. Good tackle from Wright.
Good tackle indeed, but wonderful play by Middleton. He read that so well. Realised the kick was on, he'd already dropped back. Snuffed out any danger. It really is great to see when wingmen drop back. They're thinking all the time.
Kemp took his eye off the ball for a moment, but was lucky to get the ball back. Running across the field. And the referee's whistle has blown.
Swinging arm from Kemp. Didn't like the tackle. There's always two sides to a story. Don't know what was going on underneath all that, but Kemp didn't like it. And look at this, he swings round, throws the right arm, and another one. Luckily the touch judge has come on, and Kemp got one first. As I mentioned, there's always two sides to a story. We only saw one of them. Castleford get the penalty.
And so they're on the attack again now with Lee Crooks. Now it's the prop forward, Kettridge. I must say, Mike, I agree with you. The longer this scoreline stays at 2-0, the more confidence the Wigan kids will get, and the more frustration Castleford will find creeping into their play.
Well, that wasn't the best effort, was it, from Grant Anderson? Snatching at the football. Castleford realised that in with a very, very hard game. There's no excuses. It's 13 against 13. Doesn't matter what they're called.
Andy Platt takes on Kemp. Blackmore is there, so too Nickow. That was the best of British against the Kiwis. Cowie stands in the tackle and gets the ball away, just pings it back. This is Paul Stevens. Last tackle. Murdoch. Good high kick, and Murdoch's running forward to put everyone on side. And he tackled Graham Steadman really well then.
Nice kick there from the youngster, but wasn't that well taken by Steadman. The experience showing there. As he took the ball, you could see Steadman twisting round, protecting himself from anyone knocking the ball away.
We're midway through this first half then. Castleford 2, Wigan 0. And of course, Wigan without some of their test stars. One of them, Phil Clark, has journeyed over with the team. He has a leg injury, and he's talking now to Mark Wallace.
Well, Phil, at the moment, this Wigan side seem to be holding their own.
Yeah, to a lot of people, it'll seem a weakened Wigan side, but they're putting a great performance in at the moment, and seem to be upsetting Castleford a little bit.
Eddie and Steve are saying that the further this game goes on, the more confident they're going to get.
I think you're right, yeah. I mean, take, for example, Andrew Craig played at full-back for Wigan today, his first game in the first team, and he's having a great game, and as you say, he will only grow in confidence as the game goes on.
It certainly shows Wigan's strength in depth, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Wigan have got three good sides, both the reserves and the academy side, and that showed, and you need that on occasions like today.
And what about yourself? Is it a big injury, or is it just a one match?
No, it's just that after playing yesterday in the test match, I wasn't able to get through the game today, but I'm sure I'll be right soon.
Phil Clark, and here's his deputy, Mick Cassidy. And the handling errors, Castleford have made 2 more than Wigan so far, and Wigan are gaining in that confidence, but not now. That was not the best pass from Murdoch, and it asked a lot of Stevens to bend down and pick it up off his toes.
Poor pass, you could see that it never made the mark. Pretty difficult for the winger Stevens to try to get to that. Just getting back to the Castleford side, really they're playing too much one-out football. They think that they can just break down this defence. Really, Castleford have to start swinging the ball around. Long ball out wide, they've got the men for it. Mike Ford, one of the best passers in the game.
It's Nick Howe in possession for Castleford, who began by losing at home to Leeds, but they've now lost just 1 of their last 7 games, and they're seeing a lot of the ball in this first half. But as yet, they only have the 1 penalty to show for it. And it's great tackling like that from Craig Murdoch that is restricting Castleford. And it didn't seem to me that Mike Ford played that ball.
It's pretty difficult. He was being pulled over there, pushed by the youngster.
Out to the back door from Crooks. Movement continues with Steadman. Here's Blackmore. And I don't know why Grant Anderson got his hand to that ball, because it was all the way going for Simon Middleton.
Well, they really have lost the plot, haven't they? The ball was going out wide to Middleton. Long ball, but that's the sort of play that Castleford have to look forward to. Going through 3-4 pairs of hands.
Danny Ellison in possession for Wigan. 23 minutes gone, still 2-0. There's the fullback, young Andrew Craig. Connolly in at dummy half. Away from Nick Howe almost, but the job finished off by Ian Smales. Now Mick Cassidy. Nigel Wright, only 19. We class him as one of the teenagers in this Wigan side, but Wigan did pay £150,000 for him. We mustn't forget that. And there he is with the tackle, helping out Paul Stevens. It's all tackle, tackle, tackle at the moment, isn't it?
Well, you can see the Wigan defence moving up very quickly. They are taking a little bit of a stride before. There you could see quite clearly there's a few of them well offside. Robin Whitfield not really taking them back enough, in my opinion. That's why this game's going 1 out a lot of the time.
And that defensive line from Wigan really was all over the show. But it's that sort of careless play by Castleford that means we've got these little problem areas. But I wonder what St John Ellis can do here now. Gets away from Cassidy and from Stevens and from Platt and from Skerritt, but not from Cowie. Last tackle, Kemp. Kicks the ball aiming for the corner and finds the mark.
Nice kick from the Kiwi there. Just takes a kick to the right. Connolly left it. They really just have lost their way a little bit, Castleford. The likes of Tony Kemp, that man there, and Mike Ford, they must start getting it together, start taking control of this, and Castleford are offside at the scrum. Steadman it was, who'd moved up a little too quickly for the likes of the referee, Robin Whitfield. There you can see it.
So Wigan clear the danger. Lydon's penalty takes them over the halfway line, and so too does Skerritt's run. Martin Hall to Neil Cowie. Neil Cowie, a man who scored a try here last season in the defeat in April. A match that blew the championship race wide open, but then 12 days later Castleford were at Central Park and were beaten as Wigan registered their 4th successive championship. And the champions in top spot in the big league this season. And coming more and more into this game, the likes of Skerritt running strongly like that, despite the fact that they have 4 teenagers and 2 more who are just 20. They're schooled in exactly the same way at Wigan in every team. But Tony Kemp was able to pick up that loose ball as Joe Lydon just couldn't feel it.
Nice play, though, by Nigel Wright. He took the step and just went round the man. Just couldn't get to it, Joe Lydon. But nice play from Nigel Wright. That's the type of play that Wigan have to look forward to.
Here's Tony Kemp again. Drifts one over the top, and he invites St John Ellis to have a run. But the ball was just a touch long. It was worth a try, though.
Well, the hare went, but I'm afraid the greyhound just wasn't quick enough. Far too strong there. Tony Kemp, he knows it. He'll be disappointed with that. There'll be quite a few words of wisdom being said to them by their coach, John Joynett, at the half-time break. They really are being sucked into too much one-out football.
Panapa. Skerrett. Must say, Malcolm Reilly, the Great Britain coach, will be delighted to see Skerrett and Platt running so strongly here today. Singled them out as the reason why yesterday that Great Britain now are getting close to be able to match the Australians. Cowie's able to take that play the ball to himself. There was no marker in front of him.
He's having a big game, is Neil Cowie.
Murdoch to Wright, to Lydon, back inside to Platt. Andy Platt with a marauding run to the line and held up just a metre short. It was on the last tackle, so it's the turnover. Wigan took the gamble. Blackmore skips away from the challenge of Platt. Couldn't get away from those, though. Now Simon Middleton.
Beautiful pass inside. It was Lydon, and look at Platt charging through. Look at the strength there. Just couldn't get over. Stedman did the right thing, went for the ball.
Here's Grant Anderson. The ball inside to Tony Morrison. Morrison takes the tackle.
That should have been a penalty. There was a flop there.
Good ball inside. Smales gets the ball away again to Crooks. He keeps it going to Nickow. That's great play from Crooks. Here comes Castleford now attacking the right-hand side. Blackmore trying to get through Connolly. Does so, gets the ball away. Ellis in the corner. Great try. That try was full of invention. Castleford simply would not let that ball die. It looked on a couple of occasions as though the chance had gone, but Ellis touches down.
Super play. Crooks got it off the ground, and Nickow looking at it. On to Kemp. Ball out wide, and beautiful play by Blackmore. How did he get this ball away? Look at that. He took the risk. Hoped that there was someone there, and there was Kemp. And the line was open. Well taken by St John Ellis. But look how Crooks keeps his ball alive. Bounces through. It hits the ground. Crooks bends. Let's get this away. Look at the gap there. He straightens up as Nickow did the right thing. Kemp. Dummy through Blackmore, but how on earth? Look at that. Take the gamble. And there was no one at home. Well taken try by St John Ellis.
And a personal milestone for Ellis, not only his 11th of the season, but a career 100 now for the Castleford winger. Ellis hits the ton. And Lee Crooks, having given Castleford the lead, now has this conversion attempt to stretch their advantage to 8. And it was Crooks with that lovely piece of play off the floor into the arms of Nickow that kept that movement going when it looked for all that it had come to grief. Crooks with the conversion attempt then. Oh, he's hit that sweetly enough. It just faded, though. Was heading directly for the post, then just took a nasty little swing away.
Two men have come in there onto Blackmore, and you can see that Stevens is out. That's the gap where this man goes. And look how he just pops the ball away. And poor Stevens was left with 3 men to look after. He did the right thing. He went for the man with the ball. There's nothing he could do. Hope that the cover was there. It wasn't. And Castleford and that man in for the first try.
Successive hat-tricks for St John Ellis, and 1 here today now for him. Castleford ahead 6-0. Nickow, the man in possession for Castleford.
Well, the game really needed that try. It'll go up a tempo now, go up another gear. The confidence will be back in the Castleford side. They know that they can get this ball out wide. Surely that's the key. They will realise now.
Crooks. Lovely stepping run away from right. And he got away from Connolly too. Released Ford. Ford gives it to Ellis. Here's another. Great try, Ellis. 2 in 2 minutes, Castleford. 101 for his career now for Ellis. Hat-tricks in successive games. He's on the verge of another.
Well, we said go out wide, but we didn't expect the prop forward to be running out wide like this. Look at Crooks. Stepping inside there, but what a beautiful inside pass. Ford in support. He did the right thing. Pushed away. You'd notice the experience of St. John Ellis there. He went towards his opposite winger, Paul Stevens. You'll notice he'll push him away before he receives the football. But look at the inside ball here from Crooks. He did the right thing. Ford had to lean back, otherwise it would have been classed as a forward pass. The ball goes out there, and just before that, St. John Ellis had just pushed off the opposite Paul Stevens to give him that space. But that is superb football, wonderful play. Good positioning, the experience telling. He held the ball in the right arm so that the left could fend away. Great try.
His 12th of the season, and 10 of the 12 have come here at Weldon Road. No wonder he's one of the modern-day local heroes in this part of the world. Lee Crooks from exactly the same position as a few moments ago. Misses again. But Castleford have hit double figures, 10-0.
This is what it's all about, support play. Look at that, inside, goal-way thing. When the ball comes through, look at the enormous gap. Super play. The experience of Crooks, but there you could see, look at St. John Ellis, he pushed off his opposite number first.
So Castleford in the last couple of minutes have taken a hold on this. And now Wigan are going to make a substitution. Mark Wallace has the details.
Yeah, Andrew Craig, the fullback, making his debut, is coming off. And Ian Gildart, who's started in 7 of the opening 9 games, is going on.
Well, that'll mean, I suppose, that Joe Lydon will drop to the full-back position. Perhaps that the coach, John Dorrie, not happy with the way the defence of the youngster taking the experienced route by dropping back Joe Lydon.
And that will mean that Sam Panapa will go into the backs and Gildart will take his place in the forwards. So the Wigan coach just changing his options. It's a big ask of the youngsters, isn't it, to come in to a match of this importance. It's bad enough playing in the big league, but when you've got Castleford running strongly like this, well, they've got all on to stop them, and it's Ford's kick through, read by Connolly, and he used the post to get out of trouble.
Oh, what a great game Crooks is having. He just went through the tackle of Nigel Wright as though he wasn't there, just skipped through. Good play by Connolly. See how he uses the post. Out the way, fellas. Well played, but what a great break again from Lee Crooks.
Crooks, number 8 in the yellow and black there for Castleford, is certainly catching the eye here. Here's Mick Cassidy. Wigan in possession, midway inside their own half, less than 5 to go to half-time. Mark Wallace has got one of the Castleford players not playing today, John Ray, with him.
Around 5 minutes ago, I would have said it was a fairly tight game, but it looks like the Wigan gates are opening now.
Yes, I think early on we were making the mistakes, but we started putting it back together now, throwing the ball about, and luckily enough it's coming off for us.
And St. John Ellis, that's 101 tries for him.
Yeah, he's doing well, pleased for him. 2 tries, not bad the first half.
Why do you think it is that the gates have opened now, that they've been trying all the half to do it? It just seems it's all happened in the last 5 minutes.
I think what it is that we've just managed to cut down the mistakes and the balls are sticking now, and with this, we're getting the advantage.
He will be a fairly happy man, and I'm sure that the Castleford supporters are happy with this tackling display that's going on 10 metres from the Wigan line. But that's a better break from Martin Hall, and he's got Andy Platt there, but it's Platt against the Castleford team. There's no one in support yet. Murdoch arrives, but just too late. Great run from Hall, though. Right to Cowie, to Cassidy. Oh, and that ball stuck in the arms of Ellison somehow, but good tackling from Castleford.
He did well, did Ellison there. It was a difficult ball to take in. Crossfield kick from Nigel Wright. Paul Stevens couldn't get hold of it, just palmed it down. Tony Kemp picks up, gives it to Ellis. St John Ellis sees another hat-trick here. The ball, though, is still with him, but there was a Castleford man, Mike Ford, taken out in back play as Ellis thought about passing the ball inside. You'll see Lydon just throw his shoulder into him. That really wasn't a very good attempt by Nigel Wright. He'll have to start improving on his defence. And there's Lydon, you can see, just use the shoulder. Now that should be a yellow card in my opinion. That is a professional foul. Look at him, it just props against him there. Ford went down like a sack of potatoes. Well, as looking man in my book, many a referee would have brought out the yellow card, and rightly so. St John Ellis was buried in the tackle and is receiving treatment. A man with 2 tries under his belt already. But it's a penalty to Castleford, and Lee Crooks perhaps trying to take a bit of heat out of the situation. Ellis has obviously caught the collarbone. Let's see if there's any indication here as to why the injuries happened. He dropped on the ball, I think, Steve-O. Yeah, the point of the ball under the shoulder. There you can see Mike Ford flat out in the background. Well, it's all happening. It was a beautiful pass by Tony Kemp. Connolly couldn't get him down. Tony Smith is warming up on the sideline, waiting to come on if Ellis can't continue. But he takes his tracksuit. Ellis doesn't want to leave the stage, even though he's feeling pain in that left arm. Now Crooks with a penalty. This time about 5 metres in touch from where he was kicking for the conversions, and he still hasn't got the sight set. And the ball doesn't go dead. Connolly collects it and gets out of trouble. Not the best kick, but cool play by Gary Connolly. Neat little step that got him back into the field of play. But this Wigan defence will have to start tightening up there. Castleford now are making the gaps. Offside against them. Grant Anderson moving up quickly there on the blind side, made no attempt to come back. Referee Robin Whitfield very keen on that today. Skerritt with the run. Must say the Wigan prop forward Skerritt and Platt are working hard, but not getting through, not yet. There's Platt again. Good tackle on him by Kettridge. And 3. Cassidy's the dummy half to Murdoch, to Wright, Panapa. Connolly wanted it out wide, gets it now. Almost away from Nickow, but Blackmore finished him off. We're into stoppage time in the first half. Wigan are looking for a try that would put them back into this match. Here's Gildart. Good tackling, Castleford. Defence standing at the moment, firm as a rock. Murdoch back inside to Platt. Couldn't get through Nickow. Long ball into the arms of Connolly. Connolly dabs it forward. Ball runs dead. Tap on the Castleford 20-metre mark. Poor option there by Connolly. Far too strong. That was brought about by the pressure applied by the Castleford defence. They really have stepped up a gear, haven't they, Castleford? They were playing one-out football for the first 20 minutes. A lot of mistakes, but then it's all changed. They've started finding the gap, swinging the ball about and supporting very well indeed.
Simon Middleton. Minute and a half of stoppage time, first half. Has been quite a bit. Here's Crooks. Had a great first half, although he won't be happy with his kicking. He's missed 3 attempts from this right-hand side. Ian Smales. Russell of dummy half. Richard Russell, who began his career at Wigan as a three-quarter, now the Castleford hooker. Stedman left-footed into the arms of Danny Ellison. Murdoch, short ball to Gildart. Now Cowie. Oof. Get out the way, says Cowie.
He's worked hard as Cowie. He's had a good first half. Made a lot of yardage.
Hall on his own from dummy half. Ellison looking for a chink in that Castleford defence. None there. Hall to right. Misses out too. Goes on a run on himself. Nigel Wright, lovely weaving run, looking for support, no one there. Why did he pass?
Why didn't he pass before that? Threw a lot of dummies, nice break. Should have gone there. Support was there with the hooker Martin Hall. Panic play by Nigel Wright.
Tony Kemp is hurt, preparing to play the ball.
Twisted and onto the knee there, the right knee.
3.5 minutes stoppage time now. Hope the timekeepers have brought their watches with them. Kemp's all right, by the way. He's continuing on up to half-time. Here's Richie Blackmore. Gets the ball away. Lovely to Russell, to Smales, to Morrison. Back to Stedman. And there is the half-time siren. Almost 4 minutes of stoppage time played in the first half. And Castleford have the advantage by 10 points to 0. The 2 tries from St John Ellis. They have turned the game in Castleford's favour. And the champions, with this new-look side, because of injury, have it all to do second half. Road, Castleford ahead by 10 points to 0. The 2 tries from St John Ellis and the 1 successful kick from Lee Crooks. Match facts tell their own story. Scrums, Wigan have had 7 to 1. Penalties all square, handling errors all square, but the Castleford possession statistic 56 to 44, and that's why they are 10 points to 0 ahead. Successive hat-tricks for St John Ellis, and he's on the verge of another here today against the league champions. So it's going to be Graham Stedman who will get this second half underway. Both sides, I would think, Steve-O, second half, were looking for an early try.
It's important, yes. They can start taking control, especially if Castleford post one within the first 5 or 10 minutes. Obviously, Wigan will be wanting try to crash back. Interested to note there that the scrum's going to Wigan 7-1. That indicates that Castleford's kicking game by far superior in that first 40 minutes.
So this is the top match in the Stones Bidder Championship today, top against 4th. At the moment, 4th place Castleford in the driving seat, 10 points to 0 ahead. Wigan will want to register a try early in this second half to prove that they can fight back despite missing so many stars. Doesn't matter to Castleford though, doesn't matter to the rest of the big league. It's all cherry and white. It's all about Wigan. It doesn't matter what names are in those jerseys. Wigan are the champion team, and a lot of people like to see them knocked off.
They can see it's the accidental offside. He tried to play the advantage to Castleford. It was not forthcoming. That's why the turnover.
Here's Crooks, hit by Panapa and Skerritt. And Gildart, and Murdoch was in there for good measure too. Russell to Ford. Long ball to Tony Kemp. He helps it further wide to Steadman. Steadman cuts back in field. Scampers forward 10 metres. Neat play from the Castleford full-back. Kemp at dummy half. Smales the runner.
Quite obvious that their coach, John Joyner, have told the Castleford players, we'll play it on the blind and then we'll do the link, the long ball out wide.
Good strong run from Tony Morrison. Morrison ball inside, and Murdoch picked it up gratefully. Perhaps it was the wrong option. He went inside, and he might well have looked left and come the other way.
Well, it was a great bust, wasn't it? Morrison really did come streaming onto that one. Little flick back inside. Well-worked move. Really just wasted it, didn't he?
2 minutes, second half gone, and Mark Wallace can bring us up to date with what's been said in the dressing rooms at half-time.
Yes, in the Castleford dressing room, John Joyner has been talking to his troops. He's said to keep up the pressure and to cut down on the mistakes. There were too many in that first 20 minutes in the first half. In the Wigan dressing room, John Dorahy's been saying to go forward before spreading the ball wide. Make sure that the ball is locked in when the tackle goes in. And here's quite an interesting point here. He's targeted a couple of the Castleford players who he feels has been missing tackles. That's Martin Kettridge and Tawera Nickau, so it's worth looking out for that.
Well, I wonder if Wigan will run the ball at those two. We shall see. They won't for the time being, because it's Castleford who are in possession. That ball has come free. The referee has had a little glance to his touch judge, and I think this is going to be given as a knock-on.
Yes, he just slipped it. Just slipped out there from the hooker, Richard Russell. Won't be happy with that. Head and feet to Wigan now.
Didn't that ball go backwards though, Steve-O? Anyway, Wigan won't be complaining, will they? They're in possession now with Nigel Wright. Here's Panapa.
If you lose the ball after the referee has been called tackled, and is tackled, then the scrum must go down.
Cowie has run strongly all day, and Connolly was met on then head-to-head by Tony Kemp. Murdoch to Nigel Wright. Connolly again. Hoists the midfield bomb, and underneath it, very easily, Ellis steps away from Skerritt.
Well, that was amazing. I haven't seen that from a Wigan side for years. The ball went high, and they just stood there, apart from Skerritt, who ran forward. The rest of them stood back, thinking it was going to go into touch on the full.
Ball came free, and this is Kettridge. No, it isn't. It's Richard Russell. Beg his pardon. That's Nickau. This is Morrison. Anderson, the dummy half to Ford. Joe Lydon, incidentally, off the field with a cut head and a twisted ankle. So we're not likely to see much of him for the remaining 35 minutes or so. Ball is hoisted. The young full-back Murdoch, Andrew Craig, is back on, and he made a complete meal of this.
They were offside, the Castleford runners. They just let him get to the ball. There was no pressure applied to him. He just lost it there to the youngster.
Now Morrison hauled back by Skerritt, but it was only just legal. Russell to Crooks. Russell again, this time he finds Tony Kemp. That's good work by Mick Cassidy. Last tackle for Castleford. They're going to run it, I think. This is Nick Howe. Dabs the ball forward, but the ball runs dead.
Idea was there, just a little bit too strong. They're building in confidence now, Castleford. Instead of just kicking on that last tackle, pass through two pairs of hands, come out wide, nothing going there. They really are mixing the options up now.
Gildart took that one at full steam from Martin Hall. Hall from dummy half. Banapa's there. Now Hall again. Banapa saying to the touch judge, by the way, who's being interfered with as he got to his feet after that tackle. Platt to Hall. Wright to Skerritt. Gets the ball back, but only into the arms of Mike Ford. Ford has got Blackmore with him. And he has Craig, the young full-back, chasing him back. And this time the full-back did well. Ball comes free. Is the decision play on? The referee is looking at his touch judge and has given the penalty to Castleford. Someone stole the ball in the tackle.
St. John Ellis there, you can see Connolly interfering with the football, obviously dragged out. But what a great run there by Ford. Platt gave the interception. Ford scurried down on the right flank and was looking to keep in touch. He did well then.
Martin Kettridge has gone off and he has been replaced by Andy Hay. Andy Hay, a Castleford teenager, 19 years old. And here he is straight into the action. Russell at dummy half. Ford is there. It's a good ball to Nick Howe. Nick Howe to Anderson. Try. That could be the one that kills off Wigan.
Beautiful crisscross move, first forward. See the runners coming away. Nick Howe at the angle. And just a little slip pass. You can see that Nick Howe dragged in two defenders. There's only half a gap, but the centre, Grant Anderson, went through. This is the first run. Look for the crisscross. Nick Howe comes. Super stuff. Look how he drags the defence. They really worked that move very well indeed. You can see the Castleford players have gone forward. And they use it as a dummy shepherd. Look at the men that have been playing at the play of the ball. See how they stand there and come away. That is well worked indeed. They're claiming for the shepherd of the Wigan players. That was a planned move. You could see the men who were involved in the dummy half position. They used them very well indeed.
Crooks with his easiest conversion attempt of the afternoon. Finds the mark this time. So Castleford now have built a 16-point advantage in Grant Anderson's try. Only the second of the season, and both have been on Sky.
You see quite clearly the move runs through. Beautiful play here. Look how Fort comes through. Now look at the two players that have been there at the play of the ball. They create the obstruction. The gap's there, and Anderson finishes it off.
So Castleford here with 10 minutes of this second half gone, on course to maintain this very impressive record that they have against Wigan at Weldon Road. This will be the third successive win against Wigan if they hang on to this 16-point advantage. With Andy Hay, I think the touch judge has given a knock-on here.
Interference there. Cowie had his arm right into that ball there. No chance of playing it. Wasn't seen that way by Robin Whitfield.
Here come Wigan. Panapa. Almost through the gap. That was tenacious tackling by Graham Steadman. Now it's Danny Ellison.
Well, we've got to see some magic now from Nigel Wright.
Was that a forward pass from Hall to Andy Platt. The referee didn't think so. Ball again to Gildart. Ball out to Skerritt. Must say they've dealt with the threat of Kelvin Skerritt very well, have Castleford.
That was a great tackle by Richard Blackmore.
Martin Hall again to Neil Cowie. Almost through one. Not through though, and held up just short. Hall, the dummy half, again going on his own. Hall looking for glory, but held up. It's the last tackle. Possession automatically turns over.
Good play by the fullback Graham Stedman. He went down very low and went underneath the ball. There was no chance that they could get it down. Good thinking though by Hall. Quick play of the ball, nearly caught Castleford napping.
Interested spectator in the crowd, John Money, over here for the Kiwi Tour, the new boss of Auckland Warriors, in charge of Wigan last time they were here and losing at Weldon Road in the sunshine last April. Lee Crooks, has he lost it? No, he hasn't. He's held on somehow. That ball was almost round his back. Blackmore with the run. Now the referee has said here and has ruled, I think, that Cassidy stole the ball in that tackle, and he has given Castleford head and feet at the scrum.
Well, it's a knock on. Simple as that. Knock the ball out of the arms of Mike Ford. Not allowed to interfere until the ball has actually cleared the ruck.
Well, shouldn't that be a penalty?
Yeah. Should have been in my book, but it isn't. Either way, Castleford still hold this 16-0 lead.
And in possession with Nick Howe. Robin Whitfield calling to the Wigan players to release the Kiwi, let him carry on. Here's Morrison. Whoops! Almost a dangerous tackle. Cassidy and Panapa on Morrison. He's all right though, the Castleford second rower. And that was a big collision involving Platt and Wright and Grant Anderson. Here's Tony Kemp. He says he's running strongly despite the fact that he had the game for the Kiwis yesterday, and he got in the way of one of his players and surrendered possession to Wigan.
Well, Mike Ford tackled him virtually. Kemp was scampering through, collided with Ford, and Ford virtually pulled him to the ground.
Look at that handling error count of 19, and Castleford have made 10 of them. Hall to Cassidy. Nigel Wright. That time he imposed himself on this game, but he drops the ball, although he's appealing to the referee that it was knocked out of his hand.
He tried the inside pass there, didn't come off. But at that stage now, you'll see it. Inside ball. Had Ian Gildart on the inside there. It didn't come through. That's the type of play they've got to try, though. At 16-0, they really have got to be a little bit more adventurous now if they want to get back into this game. There's still plenty of time.
Ian Smales. The dummy half was Russell. The runner is Nick Howe. Thought about just trying to get that ball round the corner. A right mess at the play of the ball. That really was scrappy, and Nick Howe judged to be the man at fault. He took the tap to himself to play the ball, and that's not allowed with markers in front of you.
Well, he tried to knock it back, and it appeared that he'd no option. He caught his boot on Nigel Wright there, which forced the ball forward, which was deemed as playing it to himself.
Here's Andy Platt. I say Wigan won't enjoy coming to this part of Yorkshire. They were beaten just down the road by Featherstone, their only defeat of the season so far, and here they are trying to rescue this match at Castleford. 16-0 down, but Castleford in possession with Blackmore. So they don't seem to enjoy the Yorkshire air this season. To Wigan.
Certainly hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them.
Great tackle that though by Connolly. And I don't think Morrison quite liked the challenge. Put the ball in Connolly's face. Here's Andy Hay. Connolly and Hall bring him down. And then Connolly interferes as the Castleford man tries to get to his feet. Referee says play on. Let's get on with the game. Quite right too.
And that was forward.
He gets it back to Anderson. Desperate defence for Wigan.
Well, anything's going on now. Robin Whitfield there. Messi was so scrappy. They never played the ball. He said play on.
Ellison had to simply hack that ball dead because he could hear Middleton right behind him.
Nice play from Steadman. See that there was no one at home. Play to get rid of that ball, apply the pressure. But there was no doubt in my mind that the pass from Lee Crooks was well forward. He went round the man.
Wrights drop out from under the post up to halfway, but only into the arms of Steadman.
This is really where Castleford can turn the screw, keep this ball alive.
Mike Ford going nowhere. Ian Gildart was all round him. Russell to Crooks. Russell again to Ford. Now Kemp. Kemp gets the ball away. That came off for him that time. Here's Andy Hay. Now it's Anderson. Steps away from Panepa. Has got Murdoch behind him. He's got Middleton there. And Middleton scores another. The big smile says it all. Castleford will be amongst the leaders tonight.
Beautiful play. Smales gets the ball alive. Morrison out wide. Super play by the substitute, kept it there, but look at the step from Grant Anderson. Beautiful play. Look how he switched the ball away and did the right thing. Sucked the winger in, Middleton did the rest. That was beautiful centre play by Anderson. It's all about keeping the ball alive. It was Kemp, just struggled to get this ball away, but they came in at the angle. St. John Ellis, Morrison gets it out to Andy Hay. And look at that beautiful step. Panepa could do nothing about that. But see how we switched the ball there. Or was that forward? Either way, it's a try, according to the referee, Robin Whitfield. The delight on Simon Middleton. But that really was classy play by the centre, Grant Anderson.
He was pleased with that. Was Simon Middleton, his fourth of the season. A season which has seen him ever present in this Castleford team so far. Lee Crooks then, again from far out on the touchline. The three is missed have been at this range and this angle. But he's kicked that one. That's 22 points to nil.
Panepa was coming in at the angle, the step and through. Super stuff. Look at that. See how he switches the ball now so they can fend off the cover and just lips the ball out wide. It looked a bit forward to me, but it's in the newspapers, it's on the scoreboard, and that's all that counts.
22-0, and it looks like Wigan are going down to their second defeat of the season here at Castleford. And remember, they had 5 players involved in the test match yesterday. They could so easily have called this game off and played it later in the season. John Dorahy rolled the dice and decided to take the challenge on, but I don't really think he thought that he would lose the likes of Afire, Edwards, Botica and Clark, as well as all his other injury worries.
Well, it certainly was going to be an uphill battle with so many changes, but let's not take anything away from this Castleford display. After the first 20 minutes, they really did sort it out. They were playing far too much one-out football, making too many mistakes. Their coach, John Joyner, sorted all that out. Started to get the ball out wide, the gaps appeared, and the tries have been forthcoming.
20 minutes left for play here at Weldon Road then. Castleford looking to really exert the pressure now with Blackmore, and they will. Right under the sticks. Richie Blackmore, the Kiwi, powered onto that ball and registers his 8th try of the season.
The crowd start chanting easy. Beautiful play on the blind side. And the man that the Kiwis ignored for the 2 tests shows the skill and the class. The beautiful swerve that just went inside. There was nothing that the fullback Andrew Craig could do. They read it well. Super play by the Kiwi Blackmore. Good thinking by Ford. He could see that they were caught on the blind side. Only one man there. Nothing that the winger Stevens could do. But look at the way that the Kiwi just shimmied his body on the inside. Left poor Craig floundering in for the 4 points.
Howie Tamati overlooked Richie Blackmore for the test yesterday. And he's given him a little nudge that he's around for the 3rd and final test next Saturday. While you were watching that, Lee Crooks from bang in front added the extra 2. And it's now 28 points to 0. Should Wigan have played?
There's 13 against 13, and that's all that counts. If is a big word in this game. 2 points are very important, and Castleford have had to fight for them. This second half, they really have taken control. But that was a superb piece of play. The experience of Mike Ford, seeing that they were caught on the blind side, and he took full advantage of it.
And that's a penalty, but it's gone against Castleford. Robin Whitfield, it looked to me as though Cowie had pushed to wear a nick out. Make your mind up, Steve-O.
Well, he sort of pushed away, but I think he's got to the point where perhaps Robin Whitfield said that bit of academy in that. Looked to push to me.
6 and 1, half a dozen of the other, but Robin Whitfield's decision counts, and it means Wigan are in possession and close to the line with Skerritt. Certainly the experienced hands in this young Wigan side, the likes of Skerritt and Platt, they will not like being on the receiving end of that scoreline of 28-0. We'll see if they can repair some of the damage. This is Nigel Wright.
Castleford defence has been very good. They've kept Skerritt and Platt very quiet.
Here's Cowie charging for the line. Just held up.
If anybody deserves a try, it's that fella. He's worked hard. Get on with it.
And there's a real discussion going on between Nurkow and Cowie. But that's great defence from Castleford. They've forced Wigan back there some, well, almost 20 metres. Last one.
Well, at one point there, I thought that Cowie was going to lose his cool. Didn't want to bother about playing the ball. Forget the game. He just wanted Nick out. Back of the stand situation, that, wasn't it? Come outside.
Good song, that. Well, you might have noticed that Tony Smith has come on to the Castleford side for Tony Kemp, who ran very strongly for the Kiwis yesterday.
Well, they're starting to cut up the ribbons now. Quick play the balls by Castleford. They know this Wigan defence is completely shot to pieces.
Every one of the 3 quarters, by the way, for Castleford has scored today. That's a lovely kick downfield, meanwhile. Lee Crooks just putting a hand on the tiller and steadying the ship.
The old campaigner. Let's get out of here. We're in the driving seat at 28-0. It's some easy drive at the moment, but that does take a lot of pressure off the forwards. Let's get it way down into the corner.
15 minutes to go then. 28-0. Castleford ahead. The rest of the big league will be delighted that Castleford have produced this display today. It really does open up the championship race a little more, doesn't it, with Wigan losing their 2nd game of the season as defeat it will surely be now. It's just a question how many Castleford will score, although these Wigan youngsters and the old hands, as I say, like Platt and Skerritt, will not be enjoying it, and they'll want something for all their efforts. Here's Skerritt.
Well, no team likes to see the 0 on the scoreboard. Knowing you, Eddie, you'll put the mocker on them again.
I haven't mentioned it tonight. You have. We'll see.
Great take there by Simon Middleton. Any youngster watching there, full control, raise the arms up to accept the ball. Look at that. Never bothered once about the defenders coming towards him. Confidence.
Wigan are working hard in the tackling, but so too are Castleford. They've not really given Wigan any chances at all in this match. The closest they have come to scoring was when they hit the post with that penalty. Anderson collects the ball and is grounded on the halfway line. We've made a few inquiries, by the way, about the nil situation for Wigan, Steve-O. We won't quite put the mockers on Castleford just yet, though.
Replay of a nice kick. Mike Ford, busy player, always thinking. The man that created the last try, as I mentioned, could see that Wigan were caught very shallow on the blind side, took that to its full advantage when Richie Blackmore scored that sensational try.
Nigel Wright, Canapa. Castleford, you're absolutely right, Steve-O. It's 13 against 13. It's Wigan as far as they're concerned. They're not interested in the fact that they have so many players out. They have tackled manfully, Cass, haven't they?
They have moved up very quickly indeed. They've never allowed the big fellas like this to get really into full steam. The only man that really has troubled them from time to time has been Neil Cowie. Some nice runs from Martin Hall from the dummy half, but after that, I'm afraid it's been lacklustre because this Castleford defence has been super.
That was an awful pass from Skerritt. It went forward. Anderson's able to get away from the young winger. He's got Middleton in. Middleton's round Cowie. Another try. It's turning into a rout.
Maketh the mistake, and thy shall be punished. And that's what Skerritt did. It was a poor pass. Anderson went through. There was only one thing going to happen when this fella grabbed hold of the football. Middleton in for the try. That was an awful pass. Skipped away. Now watch Anderson. The step inside, pushed away. Noah went low. Bit of a nightmare position there. Poor Cowie found himself on the blind side. There's just no one at home.
Simon Middleton's second try of the match. So both wingers have got in for two apiece now. They look a pretty disconsolate bunch, don't they? Crooks has kicked another. Casually plonked that one over the crossbar. 34-0.
Where is the defence? Look at that. Acres of space. Ooh, drive the bus. Let's go. You've got to make sure of your man. Poor Cowie, look at that. He'd done well to try even get back there from that mistake from Skerritt. Well taken try. Take your chances, and that's what Castleford have done tonight.
Well, remember last Christmas, it was St Helens 41, Wigan 6. That was the last time I can remember that Wigan were on a hiding like this. That was a full Wigan side. This is a side sprinkled with youngsters. But it is Wigan. They are the champions. And they're getting a flogging here.
Yes, it's 13 cherry and whites against Castleford. They won't care who's in the jerseys. They're eager for more points now, and I'm sure that St John Ellis will be screaming to try to get the ball out wide so he can get his hat-trick.
Stedman's kick downfield. And Andrew Craig comes across, picks it up, and then is tackled by Middleton. Ellison from dummy half, going nowhere. It's been a good display, this, from Castleford. The shockwaves will be round the big league tonight when they hear this one. And when they see it tonight on Sky. Sheffield Eagles are next on Wigan's agenda at Central Park next Sunday. And remember, Sheffield Eagles, the side that beat St Helens just last week. But I think I'll have to go back to that point, should Wigan have played with so many in the test, and they had so many injuries. John Doherty gambled, and the gamble has well and truly backfired.
All right, lads, out of it. Come on, come on.
Ellis is the dummy half. Smith helps it on to Nickow. Nickow running strongly, and he's found Ian Smales. There's loads of support here. Ford against his former club. Another behind the sticks. Mike Ford played for Wigan in the '85 Classic final, his 5th of the season.
It's all about positioning yourself, and Ian Smales comes onto this ball to perfection. Nickow holds it up. Look at that. Goes round, beats the man, and away he goes. Keeps his cool. He knows that the inside man's there. Mike Ford deserves the 4 points. He's had a big game. Nice support play, but excellent play by the Kiwi loose forward, Tawira Nickow. Ball out wide. Now watch Nickow, the step, throws the dummy inside. Hall takes it. But that is wonderful positioning by the second rower, Ian Smales. A super pass inside. Take your pick. It's Mike Ford.
You are watching on Sky Sports tonight Castleford's biggest home win against Wigan since the war. It's a victory that will take Castleford up amongst the leaders in the First Division. And they don't look pleased, do they? You couldn't tell from that face that Castleford had scored 40 points, but they have.
Nickow drags in the 2 defenders. The gap. Away you go, Mr. Smales. Super stuff. Lovely delayed pass. But look how many Castleford players they could have selected. It's a rout, and he's happy, and rightly so.
That was a high challenge.
Well, that was very hard indeed. Blackmore says, dearie, dearie me. Apologies from Andy Platt after the tackle was made. We can do without that, I'm afraid.
Andy Platt, number 10 there in your picture, the captain of the day for Wigan, but he won't want to remember this day for, well, very much longer. 40 points to 0. Smith to Nickow. Here they come again. Nickow threw another. Anderson on the charge, but the forward pass was called by the referee. Wigan stopped. The referee's whistle came to their rescue, and fortunately too, Castleford were pouring forward.
Well, it was marginal. But Robin Whitfield had no doubts. And here comes the tongue twister.
Yes, I'll try it then. Christian Radlinski, 17-year-old, a centre or a full-back. He has come on. And Gary Connolly, who played in the test match yesterday, is the man that Radlinski replaces.
Well, it won't matter to this youngster what the scoreline is. To get on to in the first grade in a Wigan jumper, a proud moment for him. Let's hope he can do something spectacular.
Andy Platt isn't giving it up, though, is he? The captain for the day today.
And neither is his opposite number there, Lee Crooks. The Castleford skipper really has tackled well. pulled off some beautiful little passes.
Referee Robin Whitfield in quickly to stem any trouble there. This is Stevens. He's moved in off the wing, incidentally, and Rudlinski's gone onto the left wing for the closing 3.5 minutes or so. It's the turnover. Wigan caught in possession on the last tackle. Look at that possession statistic in Castleford's favour. 2-1, isn't it?
And that's been brought about by Castleford ensuring that they cut down on those mistakes. They played out all their 6 nearly all the time. Oh, and that was a swinging again by Andy Platt. Deary me.
Morrison, not the best ball in the world, but they're all sticking now. Nico releases forward. He brings Blackmore into it. Blackmore gets the ball away. Anderson dumped to the ground by Ellison. Crooks. Every pass is now sticking for Castleford. He got the ball away to Smith. Smith is through Murdoch. He has support there from Ellis. Another hat-trick Ellis. 3 hat-tricks in 3 matches. This Wigan team has been taken apart in the second half.
Tremendous pass from Lee Crooks, but no, it wasn't a pass, it was dragged out. That's why Robin Whitfield said play on. The substitute, Tony Smith, fended away. There was no chance that the halfback could get to him. And 3 hat-tricks in 3 successive games must be some sort of record. And the most amazing thing about it is that St. John Ellis was having treatment way back on the quarter line. And here he comes steaming through. You can see him behind him. Beautiful pass inside. Glory, Glory, superstar.
St. John Ellis, his 3rd successive hat-trick. He missed the away match at Salford last week, but 3 hat-tricks in his last 3 appearances, and all of them here at home. Crooks adds the extras, 46-0.
Let's go chasing. There's Tony Smith with the ball, but there's the fella. He's come all the way down to grab the 3rd successive hat-trick. Super play. It's all about taking your chances, supporting a man with a football, and that is the result.
Almost jumped off the stand, didn't he? We're in the last minute. The last time Wigan were nilled here. We're going to do it again. 1964.
I knew you were going to wait until the last few seconds.
Well, not taking many chances today, but just watch now Wigan score.
Well, the crowd are wanting the 50, and it could come up. The Wigan defence is shot to ribbons now. Castleford running with a lot of confidence.
The referee moving in quickly to sort out a little altercation between Tony Morrison and Kelvin Skerrett. While you watch that, tempers, I think, beginning to run out on the Wigan side. 46-0. Well, they've been given a hiding twice in the past 2 seasons, and you've seen both of them here on Sky. Castleford are after the 50, Middleton's after the ball, but the young fullback Andrew Craig moved across and cut the danger out that time. This is Ellison. We're into stoppage time. And there is the full-time siren. Wigan are nilled at Weldon Road. 46 points to 0. Who would have believed that that could have been the scoreline come 3:30 this afternoon when this match kicked off? But St. John Ellis, with the hat-trick of tries, led the way. And the word is out, Castleford are amongst the big league title hopefuls. So the champions hammered here at Weldon Road, 46 points to 0 in Castleford's favour. The hat-trick from St. John Ellis, 2 from Simon Middleton, Anderson, Blackmore and Ford backing up, and Crooks crowning a great personal display, kicking 7 goals. But at the end of the day, should Wigan have played this match?
I guess the scoreline says no, but I would have to be honest and say that I thought that if all things were equal, we would have come here with probably a far more experienced side than what we did do. But, of course, we threw the dice up. They come down the wrong way, and 2 guys got injured in the under-21s on Tuesday night, and, of course, 4 guys couldn't back up from yesterday. In hindsight, yeah, sure, we shouldn't have come, but I will say that what occurred was we gave Cass the incentive to play well by wanting to come here so close after a test game.
For the first 20, it looked like you were holding them.
Well, I thought we were going quite okay early on, but I'm afraid our defence line didn't move up well enough, and we made a few mistakes, dropped ball, bad passes, and that all helped Cass to come forward, you know, and they're one of the best broken field sides in the competition, and that's the way the game went.
It's difficult to know what to take from this. Where do you go from here? Will you play again after the 3rd test?
Well, I hold my hand up and say that I put the game on, of course, but and I'll take the blame for it. I don't blame the guys. They put their 100% in and played very well, I thought, other than Cass had the support and put the tries on the board. Next week's a different kettle of fish, and we'll weigh that up as we see it.
St John, another day and another hat-trick, but what a team to get a hat-trick against.
Yeah, you know, I think they came here and, you know, they could have postponed, and they came here thinking that we were a weak side, and obviously, you know, it shows. I know they had internationals out, but there's some teams that haven't even got internationals, so, you know, the kids that they're putting, obviously they're going to have a go, and, you know, in today's performance, it shows, you know, that we're still in there with a shout and we're sticking in.
First 20 minutes, it looked like the whole game was going to be very tight, then all of a sudden it just opened up.
Well, you know, we've done our preparation. We've trained well all week. You know, the lads are confident. We're stringing a few good wins together, and you know, that's how it should happen, really.
There was a point in time when they were trying to bring you off, is that right?
Yeah, I just got a knock on my shoulder, you know, and I was a little bit tired as well, actually. You know, I played for a week and a couple of antibiotics and that, but, you know, I came through it. And
were you conscious of getting another hat-trick?
Not really, you know. Obviously, it's great to play outside Richie Blackmore, but you just play the game, and if the tries come, the tries come. That's what I'm paid to do, and that's, you know, that's what I try and do.
Other results now from the Stonesbitter Championship First Division. Warrington beating Lee on Friday. Castleford, the big win against Wigan here today. Bradford 44, Salford 24. Hulkingston Rovers 18, Halifax 28. Sheffield 18, Hull 15. Wakefield 22, Oldham 21. And Widnes 24, Featherstone 12. What's it mean at the top of the table? Bradford now have a 2-point advantage over Wigan. Warrington are in 3rd place after their win on Friday night. And Castleford haven't moved up a place, but they've certainly closed the gap in terms of points. They lead the rest of the chasers on 13. Down at the bottom, Lee are stuck there with just the 1 point. Salford above them by 3. And then there are 4 clubs bracketed together on 6. To the Regal Trophy, first round results. No shocks here. Barrow 54, Lee minus 12. Batley 64, Queens 1. Bramley 17, Woolston 8. Carlisle 36, Carcassonne 24. Dewsbury 56, West Bowling 10. Doncaster 62, Mysons 4. Highfield 30, Ellenborough 22. Huddersfield 36, Earlham Hornets 8. Hunslet 30, Chorley 19. Keighley 72, Nottingham 12. London 48, Sanesteve 16. Rochdale 80, Blackpool 10. Rydale 66, Hemel Hempstead 14. Swinton 24, Saddleworth 13. Whitehaven 46, Egremont 0. And Workington 74, Wigan St Patrick's 6. So all the clubs from the 2nd Division go into the 2nd round draw of the Regal Trophy tomorrow. Matches coming up on Sky Sports this week. Expect fireworks on Friday at the Willows. Salford against Warrington, live and exclusive at 7. Then on the 19th of November, the top 2 in the First Division, Bradford Northern against Wigan. It's live, it's exclusive, it's only on Sky, the big league, Friday the 19th, also at 7 o'clock. And don't forget, Boots and All, Thursday evening at 7, and we'll tell you then where we'll be this time next week in the big league. We're just waiting to see who Malcolm really brings in to the British squad for the 3rd test on Saturday.